So lately, I've been seeing a lot of social posts on people who just got their 3D printers and within days are dealing with failed prints and nozzle blobs like meltdowns. And they're asking the question like, how come nobody told me about this, right? And it got me thinking, as somebody who runs a 3D printed channel and I showcase a lot of prints coming clean off the printers, putting them together and having these awesome models, am I doing a good enough job explaining some of the expectations there are and some learning curves there are in the 3D printing world? So I want to kind of address that and explore it. So a couple things. If you're new and you're seeing all these things, good prints coming off, and you're on TikTok and YouTube and all the socials, and you just see this amazing world that people are living in it, and you're not having fun in it at all. Or maybe you're trying to get into it, and you might be seeing some of these posts of like discouragement. You're seeing these meltdowns and whatnot, and you might be asking yourself like, is the videos out there that people are putting, is it fake? Is it something that's not, they're not telling you the truth? No, they're not fake, and but it could be misleading. And let me explain why. It could be the point where you're watching somebody send something to the printers, massive prints and everything, and you just see it all flawless, coming off the prints and everything, no warping, no issues, putting it all together and having this awesome model and just having a great time. What you don't see is the years leading up to it. Now, it doesn't mean, I want to make this perfectly clear, it doesn't mean that right now, if you buy a 3D printer, it's going to take you 3 or 4 years or a lot of time to get to the point where you can send something confidently, walk away, and not have these problems. That's not the point of this. The point is that what you're seeing on these channels and what you're seeing on these awesome builds is you're seeing years or months or you're basically seeing experience in this hobby. You're seeing people that know what to send to the printer, their limitations. They've seen to identify a part, how to make the orientation good to a real print good without supports. What to the first layer adhesion. People that are doing this every day are going to learn everything about their printers, and they're going to learn everything about the model that they're making. So they are confidently sending things, and it's going to be a success. Yes, we will still have our failed prints. We'll still have our warping issues, but again, that's could be in maintenance. It could be in the weather. It could be in filament types. But it's a lot of information for somebody to really get in there and all of a sudden just fails and they don't know where to turn, right? On this channel, I do send a lot, and I do like these montages of builds coming right off the press and or the printer and putting it together. And I will talk about if anything fails, if I've had issues on here and how to circumvent it or save or salvage or whatever. A lot of times I don't have those problems, and I will tell you guys too, hey, these 30 parts came off the printer flawless. I didn't have any problems, and that's true. That's a true statement. I'm not deleting those failed prints, or I'm not deleting those error moments. I am got to the point where I have less and less and less failure because I'm in the hobby and I know everything coming from like I said, years of experience, and I had to identify and how to stop it. But I do promise you that if I do come across an issue, I will explain it and I will tell you how I worked around it. And I promise that I'm going to do a better job at documenting parts that I know what I can do off camera or whatever to make it successful. I'm going to start telling you guys why I made certain decisions to heat up the bed more or making the orientation different so it can print well, cleaning my print bed. I'm going to do a better job documenting it. So people who are getting into the 3D printing and they have those problems, they're not going to scream, "Nobody told me about this." And that's like it's kind of sad to see that kind of discouragement and those kind of posts because again that's all I'm trying to do here is showcase a cool hobby and hopefully encourage people to get into it. But I do know and I do realize that there is a learning curve, and I gotta say failure on this in this hobby It's not failure. It's okay, I won't do that next time. Okay, well, I have to change something, or this was not working. It's just not working. You can go online and do research and pull down all these resources for you to learn. The next time you come across a part that's similar or the same one, you know how to beat it. You know how to, get it printed right. You know how to just adjust things on the fly to where you're confidently, setting something to the printer, going to bed. Nowadays, printers have, app features where you can send it 100 miles away, send something to home, and you're not home to monitor that print, that particular print, but you're kind of confident enough, you know, if the electricity doesn't go out or whatever, but you're kind of confident enough that you're going to come home and it's going to be an awesome print and you can continue doing your thing. You know, getting there, it's becoming easier and easier and easier these days with these printers nowadays. Printers do everything for you, right? But a lot of people might take that for granted too. It's if features on new 3D printers might be a plug and play. You might be able to just pull something down and send to the printer without adjusting any of the profiles or the slicing settings, which is great. I love it, but at the same time, I do encourage people to know what those settings are. And you don't have to go every single step of everything because, slicing settings can get overwhelming. You don't have to know everything, but you should know enough on every category, the basics on why you might be setting something different or why even a printing profile might be different and why those guys set those parameters, right? It's good to know. And again, you're not going to do it overnight, all right? A little tip on slicing settings when you're pulling apart, print the default. Take the part, put it in, your machine, the slicing, and send it. Print the default, okay? But monitor it. Don't walk away from it. Monitor your printer. See that first layer. If you see it like good, where you'll be able to tell if it's not going to be good going on. See those. Check the settings. If it's off, stop the print. Take it off. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, whatever. A little bit of filament, you wasted. You're not really wasting. You're learning. Okay, and start over. Go back to the drawing board and said, okay, what was the problem? It was warping on the corner on layer 1. All right, we have to heat the bed more. Clean the print bed. Maybe there's too much oil and there's maybe too much debris on the bed itself. Particular filaments have different requirements. Check those settings. Send it again. Oh, okay, that's improving. Now something else is coming up. All right, if it's not high into the print, stop it again. Start over. You're learning. Every time you do something like that, you are absolutely learning. And there's resources. There's tons of resources. You can type in on YouTube or just Google. You can say, hey, corners lifting on my print first layer, and you can get a slew of help on there. The resources are unlimited in this. You don't have to suffer getting your first printer and screaming, why did nobody tell me about this? You could, honestly, there's so much out there, so much resources out there. But, I got to tell you guys, like I said, failure is, if you're failing, you're learning how to succeed the next print. It just kind of goes. Don't take things for granted. Don't take things as cookie cutter. Dial in your knowledge of the slicing settings and your printer's capabilities. If you're trying to print, say, a miniature for like D&D and you have the certain settings, it's not going to, if you have your default setting, it's not going to work. And you're going to be like, I bought this printer for this reason and it's not working. Okay. Understand what you have to do. Learn it. If something fails, fine. Okay. Let's learn why it failed. Learn to identify things early is key. First layer is probably the most essential critical time in any print. If your first layer is good, your print's going to be good. Okay, albeit if you have thin columns and it's real spiky and the movement can knock the print off the bed, that's a whole different discussion to have on certain settings to identify on certain prints. Okay, but I'm talking like flat first layers. If that's going to be lifting up on you, don't think it's going to, fix itself. It's not. It's going to cause a problem all the way through. So you're better off stopping the print early, throwing it away, going back to the drawing board, readjust some things. And if you need help, ask for help. That's key. Everybody's here to help. readjust, resend, and if that's laying down great, you're good, man. You're good to go. And now you can take that knowledge on to the next one and the next one. I was talking about modern printers a little bit with as far as like don't take things for granted, right? It's hard. It's hard. I know because modern printers are amazing. They do everything for you, but it could be dangerous. You could be left with a perfect print, 20 prints in a row, and all of a sudden you want to print something else, and the parameters have changed a little bit, and everything is failing, and you can get a meltdown. And when I talk about a meltdown, I'm talking about they've molted plastic. The most the most frustrating problem ever people run into, I have myself, is when the molten plastic goes up into the print head, and you basically have to throw the print head away and buy a new one. Now you're in that mode of engineering and mechanical stuff, replacing things. Doesn't mean it can't happen if you just have to monitor things. But anyway, don't take your smart printers for granted. You've got to learn. Again, I just want to reiterate that in everything I'm telling you guys, the new printers, and new technology kind of make it almost a joke. What I'm telling you, because they're like, we could do it all. Just don't worry about anything. Walk away. And then you get those comments from socials, right? Like, this nobody told me, or these were supposed to be good printers. I thought you told me. Because the worst thing is to recommend a printer that's working for you. That person gets it, spends $500-600 on it. Day one, it melts down, and then all of a sudden it's in the closet, and then they're blaming you for that choice. They think that that was a bad printer and everything, but it's kind of like and you want to tell people, say, great, I love that you're into this industry, but take some time. Don't rush into it. Monitor the situations, ask questions, blah blah blah. I'm on repeat, but I wanted to get this out there because it's heartbreaking for me to see those kind of posts out there when I know I can help them. Like I know how to help people into the 3D printing world. And with that, I think going into it, I think everybody, even veteran printers, that have been printing on older models for a long time, and they're getting into the new stuff. Slow down, take your time. Don't think that a 17-hour or 24-hour print is the end of the world. It's like I have to speed it up fast and because I'm impatient. I'm like that's where you're going to come into some major problems when you force prints or your printer to work harder than it needs to for a successful print. Your level of failure increases when your patience decreases, right? So slow it down, study things, study the slicing, everything. You'll get to the point where you're going to see these videos and it looks so easy. But just remember, that came with experience, that came with knowledge, that came with failure. A lot of failed prints. I think my very, very, very first printer I did, when I got it, I didn't get a good print. Probably 15 failed prints later before I got to show anybody I printed something, because that was 15 years ago. Okay, so printers were different. I didn't have the resources that I have now. I didn't have, YouTube wasn't really major for people to get into it. 3D printing was a brand new kind of hobby, so I didn't have those. So I broke things. I had to go from scratch, and I had to learn what I'm doing wrong and then learn from that. So, learn from other people's mistakes too, and you're going to create your own, but you're going to learn from it. But, everything that I do, if I come up with a perfect print or something that worked, it's not by accident. I'm telling you, it's not. I can identify it, send it with confidence, and know that I'm going to have problems. And, sometimes I'll get into the rat race of time and stuff where I'm like, okay, might have some problems, so I'm not going to just leave it. I'm going to monitor it. And I still have failed prints today. But again, those are kind of like my failed prints are learning curves too. So sometimes like, oh well, I want to see what happens. And I know, okay, I can't go that angle without supports. And then adding supports is a whole nother kind of like ball game on what's this going to do to my final product? Is the support's going to fail? Is it going to hit the nozzle? There's a whole circus out there with it. I'm hoping to bring that a lot to you guys too with the tips and everything. On my 5 minute playlist, which is the 5 minute videos. They're not 5 minute prints, but they're 5 minute videos. They're going to be 5 minute videos of tips and everything. So like, I have one coming out with the first layer, everything perfect first layer adhesion. Here's what to identify for. Here's what to kind of change things on the fly. Stop the print if you need to, and go and so on and so forth. So I'm going to do a better job at presenting some of the things where you can look at the part that you're trying to slice and be like, okay, I know why I'm setting this to a 0.2 layer height. I know why I'm increasing the bed temperature 5 degrees. I know I'm adding wall thicknesses. That's where I want you guys to thrive in. I want you to know why you're making these changes. Don't just take someone's profile and just cookie cut it. It's not going to work for every print because every print is unique. It's different. Every project is different. That's why I love this world, because I can showcase one project and showcase another and have complete different experience with it and have equal amount of fun with it. So accept the losses, accept the wasted filament, the wasted time. Trust me, it might seem like that on the surface, but it's not waste. You're learning. It's like I said, failure is your biggest teacher. Accept those losses. It's not the end of the world. It's not like you're going to, and I hope you don't start to stop a print 20 hours into it, knowing that you could have stopped it in the first 10 minutes and saved that whole time and everything. That's where it becomes wasteful. Impatience, forcing the issue, like forcing and trying not to add supports and all those things. Be practical in your expectations of this hobby. So yeah, guys. In closing, I want to make sure that you are not discouraged and you're not making those posts. And if you are making those posts, let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit me up. Let's work this out. I want to have people's experience in this field, and a good experience and encouraging and do more, and because that's how any industry grows, is when people are excited about it. I'm gonna be as honest as I can to you, and I want to encourage more the attitude of, you didn't make a bad purchase. You're not bad at this. You are at the stage I was in. You're at the stage of all of us have been in this frustrating stage of 3D printing. I'm not going to say it all goes away. I say it comes and goes, but it's easier every single time you have these setbacks. Okay, especially those of you who have just one printer. Because right now, like I can have a setback and then just turn to another printer and continue what I'm doing and then work on it. So sometimes I might feel like, okay, I'm out of commission. I can't get back into it. So we're gonna work on that, right? So I just want you to remember, like, you're not bad at this. You're not bad at 3D printing at all. It's just you got to go through the steps. Good news is, the best news is, these steps, and I said it earlier, it's not going to take you years to learn. You can do this in a day. You can do this in a week. You can do this the day you get the printer. Those steps you will learn from the next one, and it'll keep getting better. And as the printers get more AI and more smarter and everything, it might be where this video becomes completely obsolete, and the AI printer is going to take over everything and change things on the fly, real time. But we're not there yet. We'll get there, but we're not there. So guys, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this ranting vlog. Everything, again, it was just something that I was noticing on socials and when I'm in the groups and everything, that again, it's heartbreaking to hear that, and the call for help, meaning nobody told me about this. And it's because you're watching the hobby succeed. You're watching prints that are amazing, the stuff that you can do at home, but you're not seeing that where all that stuff was not an accident. And hopefully this could encourage you guys to continue or encourage somebody that was on the fence about it, because it could be scary if you're like, hey man, you might throw away $400 or $500 on a printer because it's not going to work. And you see those posts, you're like, that's it. I'll forget it. But know that those are very rare, and but they happen, and it still happens to all of us. So like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much again. Yeah, I'm having a blast on this channel. I again want to tell you guys that my 5-minute videos are going to be coming in faster in between my bigger builds. The bigger builds are taking a long time, and again, rightfully so, right? I want to present you guys a good build. I don't want just here's this 3D printed thing and then move on to something else that I'm discouraged with. No, that's not me. That's not my channel. So you guys have a good one. Leave a comment in the section below, and yeah, let me know what you guys want to discover on problem solving, troubleshooting, and we'll get into it. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one.